Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, I have a little secret to share with you. And that is, I thought a few years ago I had kind of dealt with all my demons where money is concerned. I mean, I talked to you about money in your practice and money and the way we think about it because it has been such a problem for me over the years. But I've done a lot of work on all this. I've worked with coaches and therapists, and I've journaled, and I've done exercises, and I've been on retreats, and I've read all the books, you name it, I've done it. And I kind of felt like a few years ago, I had finally reached a point where I could be like, me and money, we're good. I don't have those problems anymore. Until I realized one day that I almost choked over the word rich. I cannot say that word. Well, I couldn't say that word without a little bit of a inside. You know what I mean? Like this little, just the word would make me sort of want to break out in heebie jeebies. And when I noticed that one day, like I was fine saying I want to make money or attract money or I'm happy earning money or I'm comfortable when people pay me money. I was fine with all that. I'm fine with the word wealth or abundance. But the word rich, yeah, not so much. And here's why that matters. When I noticed that myself, that was an instant red flag to me that there are some issues here that I hadn't yet figured out. And this is the way it goes when you run your own business, when you run a private practice. And I've been in practice for, 30 years, y'all. So this has been a process I've been working on for a really long time. But here's the deal. When you are an entrepreneur, when you run your own business, you are going to have money triggers all the time. Money issues are going to come up. I just about don't care who you are or how comfortable you are with this. Because whether we like it or not, whether we want to admit it or not, our money, our income, our level of comfort around money is fairly directly tied to our sense of self and our sense of self-worth. Now, I don't want that to be true, and I'm sure you don't either. And some of you might even get a little mad at me for saying that, actually. But it's a lot easier to feel good about yourself when you have money than it is when you don't. So this is just a fact that when you are an entrepreneur, you're going to have money issues. It's the only difference is in how aware you are of them, how conscious versus unconscious they are. Okay? So I want you to begin noticing and paying attention to the way you think about money, the way you feel about money, the stories you tell about money, what role this plays in your life. Because here's the danger. There's a part of your brain that I like to think of as the lizard brain. Like it's that primitive part of you that is designed specifically to keep you alive. And that part of you, it serves a purpose. And it's kind of a good thing to have. It's what keeps us from, walking out in front of a bus. But we may need that protective, primitive part of ourselves, but we don't want it to be driving that bus. Right? I want to be in control. I don't want that part of me to be in control because that lizard part of your brain, that protective part of your brain, it's just about keeping you safe. And it doesn't really matter what price you pay for that. It's not about helping you grow or expand or become. Staying tucked away in a little box in the corner is fine for that part of your brain. So we have to learn to pay attention to how much of a factor this is in the way we think and feel and do and interact with money across the board. So because you have to learn to become comfortable with wealth. You have to be at ease with wealth in order to attract it, in order to manage it, in order to keep it. Because if you don't, if you are not, if you have that two-sided coin thing going on, that love-hate relationship that I talked about the other day, if you have that going on, you are going to self-sabotage. You're going to run into your own upper limit, your own internal glass ceiling every time. And you will unconsciously limit your income potential. That's going to happen. And I am speaking from experience because this is something that I've seen many, many times in my clients, and it's something I have experienced myself. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to become an active observer of your own attitude about wealth. And I want you to become a conscious wealth creator. I want you to start thinking about wealth as something that you love, value, appreciate, celebrate, and that you create in a beautiful, healthy, win-win kind of way. And that there's, not only is there nothing wrong with it, but there's everything right about that. Because you, as a wealthy person, can do so much more in your life and in the world. But this stuff is insidious. It will trip you up when you least expect it. And with all the work that I've done around these issues, I continue to run into myself over and over again. Just a few weeks ago, I had a $20,000 day. I made in one day what I used to make in 6 months. And it was a really good day. And I was really excited. Did a little bit of a happy dance around the kitchen. Yes, I did. And then the next day, I was talking to my partner, and I said something about, yeah, I'm feeling kind of rich right now, but you watch, in a month I'll feel poor again. And she, thank God for her, called me on that. And she said, what did you say? What did you say? Take that back right now. Words have power. The way we speak matters. And in that moment, I realized that I had fallen back into this trap I always fall into of not trusting that wealth is going to last, which is one of my issues, right? We all have them. So I want you to become aware of how you feel about money, how you think about money, what comes up for you, what's triggering you around money, when fear kicks in. And I don't want you to necessarily do anything different with it. I just want you to notice it for now. And when that part of you, that fearful part of you, that protective part of you pops up and says, you better be careful. Don't raise your rates. You might lose people. Don't hold that client accountable. You might lose them. Don't own your value in the marketplace because people might get mad at you. When that protective part of you speaks up, I want you to say, hey there, lizard brain. I appreciate you. I know you're keeping me alive and I'm grateful for it. But in this particular instance, I don't need you. So I'm not going to ask you to leave, but I'm going to ask you to go take a seat in the back of the bus because I'm driving right now. Okay? You hang close. I'll let you know if I need you. But for right now, I'm going to ask you to take a step back because I got this. And that's my message to you. You've got this. Have a great week, everybody. And talk to me in the comments below. Let me know, as always, what you think about this, what it brings up for you, any observations that you have. Let's have a conversation. Talk to you soon. Bye now.